everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie and in today's video I'm going to be focusing on reading thriller books for a week. So before we get into the video, please don't forget to like this video if you enjoy it and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content. I primarily read fantasy, thriller and romance books and I post videos every Sunday. So in this video, as I said, I'm focusing on reading some thriller books. So it's been a bit of a while since I've actually read any thriller books, so I really want to dive back into the genre and wrap some author backlists up as well. So I've got 4 books to read in this vlog. So first of all, is it a thriller reading vlog if we don't have Frida McFadden? So I'm going to be reading Ward D by Frida McFadden. I'm also going to be reading Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I then have The Dilemma by B.A. Paris. This is the last book by B.A. Paris I have to read, and I'm completely done with her backlist. And then finally I have Hostage by Claire McIntosh. I've got a few of her backlists left to read, just like Frida McFadden and Riley Sager, but less so for Claire McIntosh. So I really want to get this one read and then continue on with her backlist as well, because I really enjoyed the few books that I've read by her. Hey guys, so I'm just checking in with a reading update for this vlog. So I have started the first book for this vlog, which is Ward D by Frida McFadden. So in this one we follow our main character Amy. She is a medical student and she has been assigned to work a night shift on Ward D, which is a locked psychiatric unit in the hospital that she is, I guess, interning. I don't know how like medical things work, but she is spending the night to learn, I guess, a night shift with some psychiatric patients. So it starts with Amy finding out that she's on the ward and she's supposed to be on with one of her fellow college or fellow students, I think called Stephanie. When she gets there, it's actually her ex-boyfriend Cameron. He has swapped to take the same shift as Amy and we don't really know why. So they quickly enter the ward. There's a code that will open the door that the patients obviously don't know. They're only allowed to leave in an emergency. So the people on the ward is obviously Amy, Cameron, there's a sort of nurse called Rhonda, I think her name was, and then there is a doctor, like Dr. Brennan or something, like I can't remember the names. He's like the doctor for the night. So Amy and Cameron are kind of like shadowing him. They can interview patients and kind of learn a bit about some of the cases going on here. And it very quickly turns out that Amy's childhood best friend Jade is on this ward as well, and they didn't necessarily part in the very best ways. So this book is made up of the present. We sort of go hour by hour of Amy's experience on this ward, and then we also have flashbacks to Amy and Jade's friendship in school, and we don't know what happened to stop their friendship, but there's clues along the way. And Amy and Jade kind of very quickly confront each other. Now what Amy should do is tell Dr. Brennan straight away that, you know, she has history with Jade and perhaps she shouldn't be spending the night on this ward, but she doesn't do that, and then we kind of go from there. So there's quite a few patients on this ward. There's someone called, I can't remember his name, but he's locked in a room and they are not allowed to unlock the door because he's very dangerous. He is trying to escape this room. He keeps banging himself against the door and then suddenly silent. And then there's another character called Miguel, and he eventually gets locked into the other secure room as well. We have Jade, who's obviously Amy's childhood best friend. We have a character called Will who has schizophrenia and he seems relatively okay in comparison to the other patients. However, Amy learns a few things about him and maybe there's something not quite right there. And then there's a woman called Mary who just likes to knit, and then there's a few other patients as well. And as Amy gets to know some of these patients throughout the night, she's very quickly warned that they all think something bad is going to happen tonight with one of the patients that's locked away. So yeah, that's that. I don't want to say too much more of what else is happening so far because I do think it really adds to the atmosphere. I will say, yeah, the atmosphere in this is really, really creepy because you don't know, like, is anything going to happen or is everyone just kind of playing up to, I guess, scare Amy and Cameron? As well, I don't think Amy is a very reliable narrator. We learn some things about her past as well as Jade's that make you think that maybe she's on the wrong side of this ward. I have no idea where this is going to go. I have a few theories, but with Frida McFadden, I feel like she leads you in one direction and then you get a big switch up and you have no idea. You're wrong, basically. What you thought was going to happen, you're wrong. So I'm trying not to theorize too much because I'm just kind of along for the ride with this one. It is a very quick read as well. I've only read for like an hour and 20 minutes and I'm 64% of the way through. It's only just over 200 pages, this book, so really, really quick to read. It's really good so far. I'm just hoping that the ending pays off and is as good as the rest of this book. But yeah, I don't actually have too many Frida McFadden books left left to read. I think I've only got like 7, including this one, I'm not sure. So I'm nearly caught up on her backlist as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one so far, and I'm excited to see what happens next. I definitely don't think it's going to take me long to finish this one up, considering, you know, I've only been reading for a little bit and I'm already 64% of the way through. I always think with Freedom McFadden, when you're getting a bit slumpy or you just want something really quick and fast paced and not too deep in a way, she's the one to go to. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this one so far, and I will check back in with you guys when I'm finished with it. Hey guys, so I'm just checking in as I did finish reading Ward D by Freedom McFadden, and I'm going to give this one a 4-star rating. So I really enjoyed this one. It was a really fast-paced thriller set in a psychological ward, which is not something I've read before. The atmosphere was really creepy and you just didn't know who you could trust in this ward, and I did see the twist come in only literally a page or 2 before it was actually revealed, and I quite like when that happens because you're so, like, it's not too predictable, but you've pieced the clues together just in time before the reveal. And I did enjoy the reveal and like the twist that happened here, and I did enjoy the ending of this one. All round a pretty solid thriller, exactly what I thought I was getting from Freedom McFadden. You know, a nice quick fast-paced intriguing thriller. Not the best ever, but it was fun and it was what I needed really. I felt myself getting a bit in slump. I've read quite a bit of fantasy lately, so I needed this as like a bit of a pick-me-up, fast-paced to keep me going. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So I'm going to move on to the next book for this reading vlog, which is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This is the 3rd Riley Sager book I will be reading. Hey guys, so I'm just coming in with a quick reading update for this vlog. So I have started and finished reading Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and I gave this one a 4-star rating. So in this one we follow our main character Jules, and she is a bit down on her luck. She is currently living on her friend's sofa. She used to live with an ex-boyfriend, but she came home from work one day and he's cheating on her. She's also lost her job as well, so she's really down on her luck, and she sees, I think she sees an ad in the paper advertising an apartment sitter. It's in this really famous building in New York called the Bartholomew. When she was little, she read a book with her sister. It's called like Every Heart a Dreamer or something, and it's set in the Bartholomew. So she's loved this building all her life, so she thinks, I'm going to apply for this job and just see if I can get it and see what happens. Goes to this building and she ends up being able to apartment sit. They're going to pay her £12,000 to apartment sit 3 months. So she's like, amazing, this could really help out with my debts and things like that, and I can use this time to apply for jobs. I'll have a roof over my head, I'll be out of my friend's hair, kind of thing. So she takes the job. She very quickly meets other apartment sitters as well. So there's permanent residents in this building, and then there's apartment sitters. Now there seems to be like 3 or 4 apartment sitters and not so many residents. I think there's 24 residences in this building. We only hear about a few of them anyway. Something quite suspicious about this building is that there's like a 10-year waiting list to get an apartment, and yet half of the apartments are empty, which is really, really weird. And I don't really understand why this didn't kind of trigger something in Jules to investigate a bit quicker, because if there's all these empty apartments that need sitting, because I don't want the apartments to be empty, it doesn't present a good look for the building. Why is there a 10-year waiting list? Anyway, so we quickly meet some of the residents of this building. So we have a actress, we have the author of Every Heart a Dreamer, and we have a surgeon who comes from a family of surgeons, and then we have just some like very wealthy people living here. Now Jules very quickly makes friends with another apartment sitter, and then this apartment sitter then literally goes missing the next night, and she starts to dig deeper into the Bartholomew's history and uncovers what exactly is going on in this building, because something is not quite right. I really enjoyed this one. I definitely didn't see the twist at the end coming. Like the whole reveal of what was going on really surprised me, and I actually thought it was really good. It's not something that I've read before. I mean, I'm still quite new to the thriller genre. I've only been reading them properly now for about a year. Prior to that, I only read them very sporadically, and I really enjoyed this one. I thought the writing was really good. I like the way that it was told in like 5 days before, 4 days before, 3 days before, and then we had flashbacks to after the events. We kind of knew roughly what happened, but not in a spoilery way, because we did catch up to that and then there was more revealed after. I think that Riley Sager's writing style was, as usual, really good. It was really intriguing and really kept me turning the pages. It was a really quick read. It really kept me on the edge of my seat, and yeah, it was just an all-round really good thriller, really atmospheric. Definitely not like too spooky, more of like a sort of domesticated thriller, I think. One sort of criticism of this book though, I would say, is that I wish Jules kind of listened to the people around her a bit more. She had quite quite a few warnings, and obviously this building has a lot of history, and her friend warned her about things, and like the other apartment sitters were trying to warn her about things. I just wish that she'd listened a bit, because then she obviously wouldn't have found herself in this situation. And I do think there was a few loose ends that were not wrapped up, but overall it was a really strong thriller and I did really enjoy it. But yeah, really, really good. So I gave this one a 4-star rating, and that's another book off of Riley Sager's backlist that I have read now. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one, and on to the next one. Hey guys, so I have started reading the next book for this vlog, which is The Dilemma by B.A. Paris, and I really don't know what I think of this one so far. So this one we follow our main character, Livia. She is turning 40 years old, and ever since she was 20 she decided that for her 40th birthday she would throw a massive party to make up for the wedding that she never had. When she was, I think, like 18, she ended up getting pregnant with a guy named Adam, who she is now married to. They had a bit of a shotgun wedding and they ended up having 2 children together, and they're still happily married, but her parents disowned her, not wanting nothing to do with her or the children, and yeah, so she never got the wedding of her dreams kind of thing. So she's been focused on this party for the past 20 years, which is just odd. And then Adam, her husband, he's hiding some secrets as well, and Marnie, their daughter, she's currently living in Hong Kong. She's doing a year in Hong Kong, and she's supposed to be flying back for this party as a surprise to Livia, but something happens, and then Adam doesn't know whether to tell Livia that this thing has happened. And then there's a whole plot line with the son, Josh, and Adam. They have never really gotten along. I think Adam really begrudges Josh in the fact that he wasn't able, because Josh was born, he was never able to go off and do what he wanted, and it's just a bit of a sort of odd setup. That's the plot. So we're at this 40th birthday party, and obviously Marnie is supposed to be coming as a surprise. Josh and Adam kind of like repair their relationship, and then there's some other stuff going on with family members. So there are some friends who are family as well. I don't want to say what's going on with some of that, because that is I think a bit of a spoiler. Basically, Livia discovers something about her daughter, and she decides that she doesn't want to tell her husband and resolve the situation. And then something happens with Adam as well. He's got a sort of secret that he doesn't want to tell Livia because he doesn't want to ruin the party. But I think that the secrets are too big to just be kind of brushed under the carpet for this party. You read this book and you just think these people are not normal. They are really not normal. And it's just honestly a bit boring. Like, I'm 200 pages in and it's just repeating the same thing over and over again. Like, we get a chapter from Livia and she goes through this secret that she has found out. Do I tell my husband or not? And then it's a chapter from Adam where he's talking about this thing that he's found. It's like, do I tell my wife? And then we go back to Livia and it's just the same chapters over and over and over again, and we're not really getting any more information. I'm hoping that it picks up at the end, but to be honest with you, I don't really have high hopes for this book. I was looking at some of the reviews and the reviews are not very good. It's not influencing me. Like, I had already decided that I didn't really think I was going to enjoy this book just after the first sort of 200 pages, but I'm going to finish it because it is a quick read. But I'm confused as to what the thriller aspects of this actually are. The husband and the wife who are keeping secrets from each other, but that's not a thriller makes, you know, like oh, I've got a secret, like what's going to happen here? It's just I don't know. I just don't think it's very good. I just think you can tell that this was supposed to be like a short story that was then dragged out into a full-length novel, and I don't really get what the point of this book is. I don't really like, because it's obviously at the end they're going to tell each other the secrets and they're going to resolve them. So like what is the point? I don't know. I don't like this. I'm not really enjoying this book, to be honest with you, but I'm going to finish it because I don't think it'll actually take me long to finish. 333 pages, so I could probably get that finished tonight if I tried. But yeah, it's just a bit, what's the point? What is the point of this book? And the adults are all just really quite annoying. Like, instead of having like, even in the past in their marriage, they don't ever have like a rational discussion with each other. So when Livia and Adam first get married and Josh is only like 2 or 3 years old, Livia starts putting money aside each month to surprise Adam and take him and Josh away to like Cornwall for the week. And Adam finds this money in a pot, and instead of just talking to Livia about it, he speaks to his friend who has always had a bit of a thing for Livia, so he's clearly trying to sabotage the relationship. And he tells him, oh, just like spend it, buy a motorbike. So Adam buys a motorbike. Livia gets really upset and it's just like, why didn't you just ask me what the money was for? And it's just like, imagine that, but over like 20 years of history, and it's just like, just have a conversation with each other. But yeah, I just don't really get what the thriller aspects of this is. But yeah, we'll finish it out, we'll see what happens. that's all I have to say on this one really so far. Hey guys, so I'm just coming in with a quick reading update. I did finish reading The Dilemma by B.A. Paris, and I'm going to give this one a 2-star rating. I really don't think this was really all that good. It's definitely not a thriller, it's more like a suspense novel, and essentially the synopsis that I gave, where it's this woman at the party and her and the husband are basically trying to tell each other a secret and they just keep avoiding each other. That's kind of really all that happens, and eventually they do tell each other what the other one knows, and then that's just kind of it. So it was a bit underwhelming, definitely not like a twisty thriller. I mean, just because B.A. Paris has written all thrillers doesn't mean she has to stick with thrillers, but this is marketed as a thriller, and personally I just didn't really think it was very thrilling. There was no twists or anything like that, but you find everything out within like the first few chapters, so just there's no twists and things like that. I'm glad I read this because I have now finished up B.A. Paris's backlist, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't really recommend this one at all. I don't really think it was all that good. Hey guys, so I'm just coming in to wrap this reading vlog up. I have now read Hostage by Claire Mackintosh, so I think I'm going to give this one, it's one between a 3.5 and a 4-star rating. So this one we follow our main character Mina. She's a flight attendant on a groundbreaking flight, so it's a non-stop flight from London Heathrow to Sydney. Now they've tested the route a few times with this special plane, and now is the maiden voyage essentially. Mina wanted to be a pilot ever since she's grown up. She did start training as a pilot, and then something happened and she ended up dropping out, decided to become a flight attendant instead. She is married to a guy called Adam, who is a police officer, and they have a daughter that they adopted called Sophia. Sophia has some attachment issues. She had quite a hard start in life. There's a few issues there. She prefers to be with Mina rather than Adam, and Mina and Adam are actually currently separated because Mina believes that he had an affair with their babysitter. So Mina is on this flight. She swapped with someone to come onto this flight so she wouldn't have to spend a week off with Adam essentially, and very quickly on this flight someone dies, a very mysterious death in business class, and then Mina receives a note that essentially says, "We have your daughter, if you don't follow our demands we will kill her." They want her to go into the cockpit and lead one of the pilots away so that then one of their group can go in and hijack the plane. So she is faced with the decision of, does she endanger all these people and save her daughter, or does she endanger her daughter and save all these people? Now I think from what you can tell from the title of this, I think you know what choice she makes, and all hell breaks loose, and it's basically how she is trying to save everyone despite the choices that she made. And then we have the perspective of her husband Adam with what's going on. There's a whole storyline involving him and Sophia, because obviously Sophia was used as a sort of bargaining thing to get Mina to do this horrendous thing. This wasn't really a very twisty thriller. I'm not really sure what I was expecting, because previous Claire Mackintosh books have been quite twisty, especially I Let You Go. That is definitely like a really twisty thriller, so I was kind of expecting the same with this, and that's not really what we got. It was still really interesting. I'd say a bit like The Dilemma by B.A. Paris. This was more of like a sort of suspense kind of book rather than a thriller, but unlike The Dilemma, this was actually good and there was actually a plot to this. I did really enjoy this one, and I would recommend, if the synopsis sounds interesting to you and you don't want like a really twisty thriller, you just kind of want to go on this ride with the characters. And yeah, that's kind of really all I have to say about it really. I think the range of characters that we had were quite interesting, and with Claire Mackintosh there was a bit of a twist at the end, so you think that she's wrapped it up and there's always like a chapter at the very end that kind of twists everything on its head again. That was really interesting, and I did have some suspicions about some of the characters in here that were supposedly good or supposedly bad kind of thing. I don't want to give away what happened, so I think she's really good at really leading you away from what's going on so that you don't see what's about to happen. And yeah, this was really good. It was a really interesting setting. I haven't really read too many thrillers that are, I don't think I've read any actually that's set on a plane that I can recall. It's a really interesting setting, and I like the sort of the close proximity of all our characters. Like, there was nobody coming to help them on this plane. They had to save themselves essentially, and we found out what had happened to Mina at the pilot school, and that, like, there was a bit of commentary on some things to do with that, which I found really interesting. But yeah, it was just like a good thriller, more of a suspense book really, but I did really enjoy it. I've only got 3 Claire Mackintosh books left to read before I'm caught up with her backlist. She's got a new book out next year, so hopefully I'll be caught up by then, but I'm not really sure what to expect from those because they are like a detective series. But yeah, this was really good. I definitely recommend I Let You Go by this author a lot more than I would recommend this one personally. So yeah, I'm a bit torn on the rating. I'm not sure if to give it a 3.5 or a 4-star. Yeah, I'm not sure on this one. So that is it for this video where I read 4 thriller books. Comment down below if you've read any of these books. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. Please remember to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.